Hey, it's John. Is this thing on? Yeah, it's me. I gotta run home, but I wanted to do a quick video because something new came in that I'd never ever seen before. Um, Knife of the night is my butchered titanium Spyderco military. Let's just say I was in an experimental mood when I did this. I was trying different surface treatments. Initially, I had made a custom G10 scale for this side, and I was so in love with my homemade G10 scale that I thought, well, I'll never need the tie side again. So I started like marring it and cutting it up and doing all this trash to it. And obviously I ruined it, but I love the military so much, and I don't know how to describe it. I kind of need to piss on stuff that I own. I'm like marking my territory. I mean, we've all had a look at my toolbox. It's not particularly well taken care of. So, knife of the night, customized titanium Spyderco military. So here's the thing that came in today. It's really neat because it's yet another example. Goddamn, I'm sorry. Yet another example of current 2018 tech having been tried a long time ago. So, if you're familiar with narrow wide is a new sort of chainring concept whereby you will have a single ring in the front, and rather than have, let me get a chain out. Rather than have all the chain rings teeth be the same width, like this, see they're all the same? When I put a piece of chain on it, you can see that it only is really interfacing with the side plates every other tooth. And so when you're running a 1x setup, what happens is you can hit a bump, and there's not enough friction or tension usually to keep the chain on the chainring, and so it'll fall off, it'll derail to the inside or the outside, and you'll probably crash. How a narrow wide works is every other tooth is wider. So this tooth would be wide enough to completely fill the inside of these side plates. Then the next tooth would be more or less normal, and so on and so forth. So narrow wide has pretty much completely taken over the way we do single chainring in the front. It's common on mountain bikes, cyclocross, and even some disc road bikes. And they come in all different sizes and configurations. But these are not from right now. I have never seen this brand before. There is no information about these whatsoever. So that's from about 20 years ago. I mean, 18 years ago, but you get my drift. Now we're going to pull these out of the package and take a look, but it appears as though this is more or less the same idea as the narrow wide chain rings. Before you say anything, yes, they do make narrow wide pulleys. So a new development. These particular ones I think are from Absolute Black, but you can see they are in the narrow wide configuration, so the chain must stay on the pulleys in a certain way. I like narrow wide stuff. I think it works particularly well with single speed and single chainring in the front applications. I'm not sure what the pulleys would do, although I guess that God, I'm really struggling to understand why you would need narrow wide pulleys. Maybe at extreme side angles, they'll hold onto the chain better. Perhaps when combined with the clutch mechanism, they really keep it so that your chain cannot fall off of the drivetrain. I don't know, but they make them. Could be just a marketing gimmick, or it could be something useful. However, back in 1999/2000, apparently, they made these chain gang pulleys. They have a little ball at the end of them. Let's see what they do. So number one, can I put this through here? Yeah, so it's exactly like a narrow wide. The little balls cannot go into the narrow sections of the chain. The big sections fit right inside of there. Yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of gimmicky. I mean, the 90s, late 90s, were all about the replacement high-performance pulleys. I like to use them because you can get crazy colors. These particular ones are made from just machined aluminum that have been anodized black. I thought this was my nice Saint derailleur. Saints are some of my favorites, which I usually have set up with either two reds or a red and a green pulley wheel. But yeah, this is just a normal Saint. Here's what we're going to do. We are going, well, I shouldn't promise because I'm not sure how much thinking I'll have to do to figure out the spacing on these, but we are going to put these on the Saint derailleur. Saints have a small C-clip back here. Always flies across the room. We're going to get our lovely three-way. Oh, man, they really don't want these pulleys to come off. Loctite as well as C-clip. So, here's my standard issue Shimano pulley. You can tell it's all thin and the teeth are uniform. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Unique shape holds the chain tighter for more control and better shifting. Quality sealed bearings, blah, blah, blah. Abrasion-resistant thermoplastic. Smooth and quiet running, better than metal. So yeah, so you see they're critiquing the metal pulley wheels that were popular at the time. Place bike and stand, pulley wheels. Let's see if it's snugly. I take the inner cage out of the way in clockwise position. Chainring pulley with spacers over the pulley bolt. Pulley with the large diameter bearing is the upper jockey pulley. So this one is the upper. I think it probably uses these washers on the lower and the plastic spacers on the upper, but rather than continuing to read because reading gives me a headache, we're just gonna kludge it. We're just gonna slam everything together and see how it works. Goes through like that. Gonna bring this little boy down here like that. Okay, no lateral play, and it rotates. Gonna break this here connection. So, if you don't know, I will explain really quickly. There is a difference between the upper and lower pulley. The upper pulley, so that would be the one here on a derailleur, the one that's, you know, if you're using the bike and the chain is all wrapped up inside the derailleur like this, it's the one that is above. The upper pulley has lateral play. Intentionally, this aids in shifting. In fact, if you transpose them, if you put the upper in the lower and the lower in the upper, you will find that it doesn't shift particularly well, or it can be noisy. How they achieve this... Come on. You gonna make me use a magnet? Ooh. Alright. So inside of, and this is a particularly nice one, you'll usually just find that there's like plastic and metal inside. The ceramic bushing that is inside of there is actually longer than the space that it's pressed into. So it is flush against this cap on both sides, and when clamped in the derailleur, it is able to move side to side. The lower pulley, the spacer on the inside, is exactly flush, so it's still able to rotate. It's just a hair over, but it cannot move side to side. They're usually labeled as well. These are called pulleys generally. With Shimano stuff, you will find that these are usually called G pulleys. So, now, moving on. Well, would you look at that? With the two plastic spacers, come on, focus. With the two plastic spacers, I have lateral play. Let us install come on. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. First of all, what a freak show this thing is now. I'm definitely going to install and try to use this. I am going to move the camera for a second. Sorry, I know that this is the worst video ever, and like I'm moving shit around and all this stuff, but I am in a hurry, and I still wanted to upload a video tonight. Oh, hi. Ooga booga. Got some chain now. Come on, darling. Come on. You can do it. Ugh. It really doesn't feel so hot. Let's look at it from the backside. Ugh. Can you just pop in there? Yeah, this isn't working so hot. Ugh. So, pretty, but not working. It just occurred to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that should have worked. I thought for a second maybe I used an incompatible tooth count pulleys. Well, let's chalk this one up to a total failure. I thought they were interesting, though. It really goes to show you that there really isn't anything new under the sun. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but pretty much everything in bikes someone has thought of a long, long time ago, and either the public just wasn't ready for it yet, or the materials were not advanced enough to make it work, or sometimes materials were fine, the public was fine, but its implementation was less than stellar. So, yeah, these were the chain gang pulleys. The rare item that I have never seen nor heard of the entire time I've been doing bike stuff. apologies for the horrible video. The next one will be better, I'm sure. Good night.